Welcome to the Gynergy Effect, where energy meets intention and transformation begins.
We're your hosts, Garen and Yessie, partners in life, love, and purpose.
Here to share the tools, truth, and stories that helped us build a life from the inside out.
Whether you're seeking deeper health, conscious relationships, or your next level of purpose,
you're in the right place. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Gynergy Effect podcast. We are so excited to be here with you, and we're so grateful that you're here spending your time with us. Thank you. Today, we have a special episode. We have this beautiful man over here named Mr. Andy Cruz, a local legend, somebody that's had a hero's journey. He's been through life, understands life, and he's all about creating value and connecting with others. And that's why he resonated with us, and he's here today. And yes, he's going to do a great job telling you a little bit more about him, and then we'll let him speak for himself.
We're so honored to have you, Andy, here. Andy is not only a storyteller at heart, he's also a powerhouse behind the lens. And here's a quick introduction. Andy Cruz is the former of Cruz Productions, a video production and podcast studio based in Chula Vista, California. With over 20 years of experience, spanning mortgages, branding, and creative direction, Andy brings a unique perspective on what it really takes to connect with people through media. He's produced cinematic video content, guided countless creators from their first podcast, and now he's doing exactly that with us, helping bring the Gynergy Effect to life. Andy's not just a media guy. He's also a family man, a thinker, and a visionary. He's been married to his wife, Jen, for 22 years, is a proud dad to 3 daughters, and dreams of one day owning a ranch where he can ride horses at sunset.
That's right.
That's nice, baby. I love that.
He's someone who believes in doing things above board, always, and in putting others' needs first. We're so excited to introduce you to the man who's not only helping tell our story, but who has also a powerful story of his own. Welcome to the podcast, Andy Cruz.
Wow, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is fun. I get to sit in your set that I'm normally sitting outside looking at, outside looking in.
Right.
This is awesome. Thanks for having me on today.
Grateful to have you.
Thanks for being here, because I don't know if without you, the podcast would be alive and kicking and have the heartbeat that it has. So I think it's only natural that you actually are our first guest on the podcast to pay homage to that, because we had somebody set up, ready to go. Last minute, they bailed on us. We're part of this mastermind together. You write me after, and you're like, hey, bro, you need help? And I'm like, yeah, but this is that, and a little bit of a panic, and you're like, don't worry, I got you. And just that presence and that essence and that steadfastness and just the perspective that you always share with us, the knowledge that we go back and forth with, we just value that a lot. So we're grateful to be here with you.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's funny because I know you had someone else set up, and then that kind of fell through last minute. But it took a lot of trust in you guys to trust that I was telling you, hey, it's going to be okay. You're like, oh, I don't know. I barely know you. We're in this mastermind, but our personal engagement and conversation with each other hadn't occurred, other than oh, cool, hi, you're me and I'm you, just that kind of level. And I think it takes a lot of trust for you to stick your neck out and be like, I guess, and I had to show you, okay, we do some shows and I have a studio and this and that, so we're not newbies to this, right? But it took trust for you to be like, you know what, I think this is where we have to start, and then you guys did. So it worked out, I think. I feel like it's worked out.
Well, when somebody leads with value, they want to create value, and you can sense that and you feel that, then usually you know that's the right fit. When they lead with what can they gain from something instead of what can they help contribute and create, and how can they help alleviate maybe some of the stress or load to help lift the vision that you have, right? So you've done a great job with feeding what the vision is, listening, understanding, and really being present in those conversations, and always curious about how you can help amplify that. So I've been really grateful for that, and that says a lot.
Well, I can tell you guys something that, and I don't know exactly how I may have shared this with you earlier, but when I was looking up Gynergy and looking at what you do and how you talk and what you say, and then even your physical Date Zero book, I was like, okay, I get all these things. I've either been in those same shoes where maybe I'm helping coach, guide, or instruct someone through something, or even just encouraging them through something. But I also have had to live a life where for 9 years, I've journaled daily, and it's part of what I do. Not just in preparation to have my calendar tight and all that kind of stuff, but like to take reflection of the things that occurred in my day, what I learned in the day, which things are value adds in my day, what am I grateful for every day, what am I praying about every day, who's on my mind today. It's like all that stuff. And so when you when we found each other and you were kind of like looking for someone like me, and I was like, oh, cool, this aligns with things that are very natural to me. I was like, I think this can work out. But I do remember telling you guys, like, you don't even know if you like me yet. Like, let's figure this out. I don't know if I like you. You don't know if you like me. Right. Let's give it a run and see what happens.
So what it sounds like is having alignment is very important. And when there's alignment, it becomes very natural and easy to work together. If there's not alignment, it may not be the right fit.
That's true, but I think there's another element too that's at play. And I remember sharing this with you guys early on. Was like, I'm in a different season of my life now. In your intro, you were mentioning that Jen and I have been married 22 years. We have 3 daughters. Our oldest is edited this show you're watching right now.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Caitlin is awesome, right?
Awesome. Yeah. She has great style too. She's very unique. I love it.
So she's 20. Our next Jill, 18. She's out of high school already, and then we have our youngest Claire, who's 15. But a new season of life has changed for us. At the same time, we're on the tail end of my wife overcoming breast cancer last year in 2024. And when that happened, as a husband and as a dad, I have to admit, I spent part of my time going, what if it's just me from here on out, right? I have to entertain that concept. And at the same time going, oh, wait, I still have her. I'm going to make the most out of the second half of our life. And so now this whole making the most out of the second half of my life really matters, but also that means being selective. And that means that not everybody's going to get what we can do and put our hand to and our effort towards, because there isn't that alignment, but part B, will I have enjoyment in doing it? It's one thing for there to be money at the end of something you do for provision or for whatever you're aspiring for financial goals wise. But if you're discontent in doing that, I've lived that too, and it's no fun. So the money can be there and your life can totally suck. And I think I think that's not a popular opinion in social space, because, well, if the money's there, that means everything's amazing. No, it isn't always amazing. Sometimes it actually creates new problems that you didn't have when you were poor or broke. And you can be happy while you have little, and you can also be happy when you have a lot. And recognizing that and living out a second half of life that's kind of letting that lead the way imparts a calculatable decision-making process for us, where we get to be selective in what we do and what we don't. Because I want to be joyful in what I do rather than just drained by what I do and not have to do everything. But then if I also fill my time doing things I love, then that means it's easy for me to say no to the things I really don't like or don't want to do or don't want to put my hand to. Does it make sense?
It does. It does. It mentioned, part of that either awakening or transformation, it sounds like when your wife had breast cancer, understanding that life isn't always guaranteed, and those times, that we just maybe sometimes take for granted, of those moments that we have, they're more special than maybe that we give them, that weight to. A lot of times we're focused on what do we have, what do we don't have, and a lot of our energy goes to what we don't have. And around us all the time, there's so much to be grateful for. And that gratitude, I know gratitude changed my life. What would you say during that process of breast cancer? How did that shift, just more about your perspective of life, and what was that process?
There's a couple things that, and even just what you're saying, I'm thinking about. One of them is, you're right. I think we take we're going to have tomorrow. We take things for granted. Right. Because tomorrow I have this on my schedule. And because we pre-plan out the things we're going to do, the things we intend to accomplish or pursue, and then we make plans and we design life. But if you pass away overnight, then all those plans don't matter, because they're not going to be executed anyways by you, right? So there's kind of that reality that, shoot, I could be planning all this other stuff in my life that may actually not get carried out by me, right? There's a real moment right there. The other thing is thinking about what am I going to do with the time I have left? Like theoretically, like how am I going to let my mark be left on life and the people I encounter? And then there's a very, for me, a very honest and practical part was I am going to demolish my calendar today so I can get home as fast as possible because I don't know how many days home I'll have with my wife, right? So lovingly, an illustration of this, our friend sent us on a nice little retreat back in January 2024. And I remember thinking that I don't want this to be our last vacation together.
Oh, wow.
Right?
It's powerful.
And I actually thought this. Now, some people might think, oh, well, you're just inclining that's going to happen to her. You can speak life into her. No, I was still speaking life into her, praying together, but it was also a reality. So something happened now in 2025. At this resort, they have the couple's robe, and they just get pampered this whole time, and it was amazing. My wife came downstairs. This is a year after her recovering from breast cancer. She came downstairs in that robe, and I started bawling in the kitchen. Aww. And I had to walk outside, and she comes out. It's like, "What's wrong?" She goes, "The robe." I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cause that robe, we got that at that place where I was thinking." I don't want this to be our last vacation together.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And so I'm crying now.
Yeah.
So I sat outside because I was like, I didn't let myself go back and feel that again. But that moment happened when she came downstairs in the robe because she was cold. So she's like, I just need to be comfy in this robe. Oh, I'll grab that robe. But it was connected to that moment where I had thought that thing. And for a second dwelled, oh man, I don't want this to be our last vacation. And it hasn't been, but that moment happened. And so that's part of me rushing to get home every day. Like we're going to go and kill everything we got to do at the office today and at the studio and squash that calendar so I can get home and we can hold hands. So I can get home and we can sit at the couch and my leg is touching your leg. Like all the stuff that you take for granted that you don't ever give a second thought to, all of a sudden matters. Like it goes and it's right in front of you. And you're like, oh man. When you come and say hi to me in the kitchen and I'm plating something or whatever, and you just touch me, oh man, that's important. It's something we do out of behavior and patterning, but it actually matters so much more when in the back of my mind, the recesses, I'm thinking, oh man, I don't want this to stop. I want that. And I don't think often enough about how many of those moments I actually need that get me through the hard days, the tough weeks, the moments that are difficult and challenging. All that stuff. There's a lot. I know I'm tossing out a lot there.
Yeah, no, that's good. To break something down a little bit, how long has it been since that moment where she came onto the other side of cancer or was diagnosed with cancer? How long has it been since she was diagnosed with cancer?
So we found out in December of 2023.
So December 2023. So about 2.5 years?
Yeah, well, no, it'll be just about a year and a half at this point.
Year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half. Yeah, so so it was right at the tail end of 2023, and then she had surgery in April of 2024.
Okay.
And then they, gave her the all clear about a month after
That's
that.
amazing. So that's amazing. So that's
Before we go, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that. And I got emotional hearing that story, and I'm so incredibly happy that she's still here with you and that you're able to have that beautiful perspective about the little things that are actually the big things in life that are important. So thank you for sharing that. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I want to make sure that you get, your time to ask questions too, because we both want to ask him so many great things.
Have you ever been out of town for a night or a weekend and the other side of the bed, the person just isn't there?
Yeah.
When that, at that moment, right now, you're like, oh, okay, well, because Garen's out of town or yes, he's visiting a friend or whatever. She'll be back on Sunday or whatever. But when you're with that person laying in bed and you're like, what if they're just never here again? Right. That creates a whole different level of, oh man, all these little minute things totally mean a lot to me.
So this is my question around that then. So before that, you guys were together how long?
20 years.
20
because
years.
Our 21st anniversary was January of 2024.
My question is, from that moment that she was diagnosed to now, how would you compare that to the previous as far as being intentional in those moments and relating and understanding and really being present and acknowledging, because understanding those may be the last moments, so not taking those for granted, to before that diagnosis, on those 20 years previous?
I think some things are the same, and I think some things are different. That sounds way vague, doesn't it? And some are the same, and some are
I'm
different.
sure you break that down for us.
No, because it's for me, it's more. It's less like a brand new book was written more than a new chapter was started. Right. So prior to that, we can break up our life together as a married couple into like, before kids, having our first kid, then having multiple kids, preschool years, elementary, then you get junior high, high school, adolescence and adulthood. So it's kind of like these life stages, if you will. And even though the cancer diagnosis doesn't create a new stage of life, like our kids are the age they are and we're the age we are, and we just add another, I shouldn't say we just add another year to the marriage, but it's like, no, that's a lot of work. Wait, I'm a lot of work.
You're like, she's perfect.
Yeah, no, Jen's good.
She's perfect.
It's me. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's always me. No. I was saying that though because a new chapter created, but it isn't the chapter above all the other ones. I think that's important to say. Like a lot of times people have allowed their marriage or their life to be defined by the diagnosis as opposed to fitting the diagnosis into the proper place in the book that's written.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
That's powerful.
And that's because of my wife's tenacity. She's like, I refuse to call myself a cancer survivor, even though she is. But she's like, I refuse to be defined by this like category of my life because I'm not going to just sit underneath that titling. And I'm like, okay. My casual joke to my friends is like, hey, you thought Jen was a menace before? She's twice as bad now.
She just has
twice as bad now,
Now she has no fear.
Yeah, you thought she was going to tell you the truth before? Now she's really going to tell you.
That's so good.
And it may not be just twice as loud. It might be the whole list. No, so I think it's more like that. It's like putting it in its proper place. Yeah, is it one of the most important things that happen in our marriage? Yeah, absolutely. But it now being, let's say, in the rearview mirror, it has shaped how we look at things. It has shaped how we spend some time. It has shaped who we say yes to and what we do because it really matters. Like I still want to get home quick as possible every day because I want to now. Right. I can always be in pursuit of the thing in business and growth and success, and that's fine. But the second that pursuit gets out prioritized over the things I've just told you really matter to me, now we have a problem of discipline and behavior on my side. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. It's a great reminder for all of us.
I mean,
did I even answer your question?
I
don't know if I even answered your question.
Whatever you said was great. All of it was powerful, and I'm sure the audience really gets a lot of value from it because we don't know what we don't know. And if we haven't been through what you've been through, and everybody has a unique human experience, and I try to, you don't want to judge people that you haven't been in their shoes or really judge people at all, right? Because every human experience is different. And I'm big about meeting people where they are, even though sometimes that can be difficult, right? And so it sounds like the experience that you went through in this really gave you great perspective. It was powerful for your relationship and with your kids and everybody being really present and understanding the value of time and energy. And it doesn't define you guys. And it's not the end all be all because you guys have these different chapters. You have this and you have your own DNA and your own makeup.
It's a season of life, not the defining part of our life. Right. Like there's a big difference between that. It's like easy to say, but it's like there's a real value in that because all of us are going to allow ourselves or disallow ourselves to be defined by certain things. And we made the agreement we're not going to be defined by this. It can be a season of our life, but it's not what's going to define our life.
Right. That's 100. That's really good.
Yeah.
I know you got some questions.
So thank you for sharing that. I'd love to hear about that season of your life. Would love to hear more about your personal journey too as well. And how did your journey started? I know you've built multiple businesses in the mortgage industry and now like a full service podcast and video studio. So we'd love to hear more about that journey and some of the challenges that you've encountered.
Oh man. Well, so look, let's say the bottom line up front, like the bluff. I love that in business. Give me the bottom line up front. The bottom line up front for all you bluff people is I've gained and lost everything multiple times. Yeah. And a lot of that revealed the immaturity in me as a person and as a business person and as a leader and a manager and all those different titles. And my first round and second round, right? So my first round of that was being in the finance industry, in mortgage and real estate back in 2005, going into 2006, everything was fine. 2007, the wheels start getting a little wobbly. And then like 2008 and 9, the bottom falls out the entire market. And back then in 2008, we had only our first 2 daughters. We hadn't had our third daughter yet. And we literally lost everything. We had 2 offices and now we have 1. And I went from having multiple cars to then no cars. Went from having a house that I owned to having a house that now the bank owns. And they're eventually going to knock on the door and say, give me your keys. And this is a lot of people's same story from 2008 and 9, whether they over-leveraged, overbought, or like me did that and also was mostly unaware of the function behind everything, that how all those pieces worked. I was just the other day telling a friend of mine who's been a financial planner for 39 years that time in human history sparked a interest in me learning everything I can about how the finance industry works. It came out of that time of loss that sparked that ember of all this curiosity and needing to understand things, not out of ego, out of curiosity and drive. And now I constantly talk about the Fed, and I'm constantly looking at rates. I'm constantly looking at what inflation's doing, global politics, oil prices, 10-year yield, indices, like you name it, because I'm curious, because it's the inner functionings of the financial markets, and my family still owns the finance company. So part of my job is today to lead podcasts about that for our family company, because I'm the in-house nerd. So that's my job. That's one of my little jobs, right?
One of many.
What's that?
So one of many hats that you wear.
Yeah, but also I say this so easily because it's also something that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So it is a nerdy topic, but it's also something I'm interested in that by delivering perspective about can add value to other people who are trying to buy a house with their VA loan or trying to invest in real estate or whatever like that. So we're having our 20th year this year, and that's not by accident. Yeah. It's not entirely by design, because I didn't design 2008 and 9. It happened. And we had to totally reset some things. But here we are, 2025, 20 years later from when we started, and now it's a 20-year-old company that I'm still in, and I'm a face for certain things of, and I get to use something that I'm passionate about and I happen to know a lot about to share with other people that are looking for information to help them make their next right choice.
Man, I love that. What resonated with that most with me was that moment that you said when you went through that loss, that inspired you to really dive in and know everything about it. And without that loss and that fire that put inside you because of the pain that was driven from the whatever feeling of ego or embarrassment or just self-doubt or fear or not
pride.
sleeping at night.
Pride. It's pride.
Pride.
It was pride, bro.
Whatever it could be. Without going through that metamorphosis, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, as you're saying this, I'm thinking of those funny reels on Instagram and TikTok where someone's innocently shopping at the store, looking at looking at the shelves, and then someone comes behind and puts a box on their head and puts a box on theirs, and they both kind of go, "Oh,
what happened?
Oh, what happened?" Right? Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like I got smacked upside the head by the market, and I was like, "Duh, what happened?"
I had no peripheral vision as far as what was going on.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that because it resonates with me when I went through one of and I've been through a couple different ones like you of this journey of life. And there was a point in my life that I just didn't want to live anymore.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. And during that point, when I got to the other side of that, that's why I'm here right now. And that's why we developed the journal. And that's why we're studying constantly the human physiology, psychology, just overall how to live the best life, how to gain through some of that adversity that time that is so incredibly heavy to people. And if we can help people through that to shorten up that time or alleviate some of that weight, that becomes a mission. And that stemmed from me going through similar to what you're saying is all of that weight and that pain and that ego, that embarrassment, that pride being just into pieces, right?
Well, and you guys are doing something very unique too in that because I've sat on the other side of the cameras and listened to you tell these stories and listened to you be real about what was real for you. And you mentioned a minute ago, like meeting people where they're at is really important to you. And a lot of times people will prevent themselves from going to meet others because, that sounds like a lot of work. Yeah. That sounds messy and dirty. But sometimes that one hand that reaches to pick you up out of the muck is the only hand there. Mm-hmm. And it's not that there isn't one that might be behind that other hand, but sometimes that's all that person might need is just to be found in that spot where they're struggling a little bit, they're in the trudge, and they just need someone to believe in them, someone to speak life into them, someone to say the truth, someone to say the inconvenient thing that will encourage them upward and onward. And I think you guys are doing a really great thing by doing that here among yourselves, but for other people, whenever in time they see this interview, whenever in time they see your other relationship talks and things like that, that's going to create purpose for somebody to take the next right step in their life, which I ultimately think, even if we don't see, warrants doing it. Right. It absolutely warrants doing it. And in that moment, having that loss and carrying that into this new season of life, like I'm saying, like I'm entering my old man season. Like I'm on the second half of my 40s. Like I feel like there's age.
There's a second half of 40s? Is that like a big thing?
Well, I'm 46.
I'm 41. So
yeah, so you're in the first half of your 40s.
There was like 40. It's like, and I was excited to turn 40, to be honest with you. I'm ready for this like decade chapter because, you take all this stuff that you learned, all the losses and apply it, but I haven't heard the second half of my 40s.
Yeah. But the reason I say it that way is like there's some stuff I can say now because I just know because I know. Yeah. I also know because I've done it and been wrong, or I've done it and been right. So if I'm telling you don't do that or avoid that, it's because catastrophe's on the other side of that. If I'm saying do this, it's because I'm 46 years old. Like, do this. Yeah. There's no sense in me belaboring the point. If I can tell you do this and it's going to work, avoid that, it's going to fail. Like, it's hard to say that to someone when you're like 26. You can say it, but it's like, there's not as much weight behind it. It's just there's this life experience thing. It starts stacking up and it's compounding. And then you get a little bit of I'll say permission, but you get a little bit more bravado to say it too. Because it's like, look, you can ignore me all you want. Come back and tell me how it worked out. And then let's go do the thing I advised you to do the first time. Not out of arrogance, out of experience.
100%. Love that.
So that was my first failure. Do you want to hear about the second one?
Yeah, I would love to hear.
I want to hear about all the failures. Let's get it, bro.
Okay, so again, this is something that happened kind of out of loss. So we're in the mortgage industry, and in 2014, my cousins who own the mortgage and real estate brokerage, their middle son dies, Christian.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He dies in his sleep at home.
Oh, man.
One day shy of his 19th birthday. He came home from college to be with the family and his friends to celebrate his 19th birthday, and he dies the night before.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Of an undiagnosed enlarged heart. So he suffered what's called SCA, sudden cardiac arrest.
Wow.
Now, SCA is like when you see those clips of like the soccer player, the real well-conditioned athlete fall on the court, fall on the field, and they're just dehydrated, or they didn't eat enough, or whatever. Unfortunately, some of these student athletes, their first cardiac event is the one that takes their life. So in his case, he wasn't actually on the field, but he was a well-conditioned athlete, and he passed away in his sleep. So that made me step back and go, okay, what am I spending my time doing? Wow. Now, at that time, it's 2014. Our daughters are 9, 7, and 5 at that time. And I'm thinking, okay, I have not done a good enough job of letting my desires in this industry be carried out. It's consuming from me more than it's contributing to me. And when I made that revelation, I told my cousins who I work, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm getting out of the industry. I don't want to do this anymore. I have to go chase down what I feel compelled to do and called to do. And that was the true origin of what I called 90-10 brand, which was basically a branding agency for apparel and clothing to give back 90% of profits after expenses to people in need, to serve people.
I love that.
And it was essentially based on the tithing, but reverse tithing. Like if we've paid our expenses, we've saved money, we've invested in the company, whatever revenue remains, we can give 90% of that because we still have 10 that can also get stacked and stored away, and we can be giving and donating along the way. Now, the idea in theory sounds good, but there's a lot of work that goes behind creating a branding agency or an apparel agency. And what started as my own brand turned into doing work for everybody else.
Yeah.
And then the wheels started falling off. We just really got off course. And so what ended up
Part of the
occurring
trap.
was we got too big, too fast. And then we suffered those consequences of saying yes to things that would take us places sooner than we were ready to be at. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
So my first celebrity client job was the LaDainian Tomlinson 5K, where a previous organization that I had done shirts for had said, hey, can you do this for the 5K, for the LT 5K? I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
LT, that's
San
awesome,
Diego
yeah.
kid. I'm like, oh, Charger stuff, cool, I'll do it,
that's
right?
the best, yeah.
So I said yes to that. And then said yes to other jobs and making hats and sweatshirts and T-shirts and all that. And then I get a phone call. Several of my friends tagged me on this Facebook post from someone local asking for a supplier who can make T-shirts and hats for a professional athlete. I didn't know who it was. I ended up on the phone with this guy named Miguel, and he asked me his questions. His vetting question was, have you ever done any apparel for a celebrity athlete? I said, yes, we just did the LaDainian Tomlinson 5K. We can handle the volume, the size, the design, and the level of athlete you're talking about. And he goes, okay, cool. So this is in September of 2015. He says, by December, we need to have about 8,000 pieces of apparel ready to go for the Canelo Cotto fight. My client is Canelo Alvarez, and I need you to design everything and be able to deliver everything in 3 months. I was like, I'm sorry, what?
like, huh?
What
just happened? How many units?
So, and the units was less of the problem than the time left to design.
The timeline,
that's
right?
right.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
aggressive timeline, yeah.
Get them actually made, tagged,
Move.
bagged, sized, and shipped. Like, it was absolute chaos. But I said yes to it, and it took me to a place that later was revealed we weren't ready for.
Yeah.
So I ended up in a place in business sooner than I was prepared. Not in an integrity perspective, but in a scale, in a in knowing how to encounter and handle the onslaught of orders that would follow that because of his notoriety. Like LaDainian Tomlinson is one thing, and his race is one thing. We go from doing his 5K race T-shirt, which just the participants get, to creating a brand connected to the athlete that is promoting the brand and.
Yeah.
So then we had to do photos and videos and promo stuff and social media posts and all this stuff because that's what he's expecting and what he's paying for. That puts us in direct communication with him and the team at that level to perform at that level. And it was super cool and a lot of fun, but man, it came with a lot of weight. And it ultimately ended up being one of the catalysts that I'll say crushed us in the end because it publicly proved we could do what people are looking for. And instant credibility came even from people that didn't know us.
Right.
So when people go, oh, you do all that for Canelo and you get all this to the fight and you're doing all the distribution and the shipping and this and that. Like, yeah. Cool. So here's this. I have this. And then all this other stuff rushes because that proof is there.
Yeah.
And then we go, okay, well, yeah, we'll do that. And then you can see how it just steamrolls and becomes this downhill snowball that gets bigger and bigger, faster and faster. And it just ended up creating a lot of challenges and problems. And over the course of time, we ended up in the moral of the story is, I think having gone through all that, we ended up deviating from our core plan, which is we need to create a brand that people care about, like a Tom's shoes, where you buy a pair and a pair is given, right? We created a plan, which was, you buy a hat, we give a hat, you buy a scarf, we come do our homeless outreach downtown San Diego. We did all sorts of ministry and outreach in the streets during a season of time. But we became so busy and so burdened by fulfilling the commitments that we made to other people that our core vision was lost.
Yeah.
And that's on me. That is not on my employees. That is not on my family. That's on me. I sidestepped that one. Now, after all this had occurred, and I became ill and hospitalized, it was also revealed to me that I was way too involved in the company. It wasn't just that I was the person that the contact point was trusting to work with the athlete or the YouTuber or whoever it was that was relying on us to perform our duty for their physical products. It was my hands were touching too many things in the business too. And when I was hospitalized for 2 weeks and then told I had to be on bed rest for a month and I was going to take 3 months of PT to recover, that crushed the company because the company was way too heavily reliant on me. And that's how I learned that lesson. So there you go.
That's a
There's a lot there.
There's a
There's a lot
there.
to unpack for sure.
Definitely a lot there. It's funny though, like when you go through that journey in business, you're so just, okay, let me move forward, let me make it happen. You want to go create, and then opportunities start to come. And what they don't teach us is that saying no sometimes can be more powerful than saying yes. And crawl, walk, run. And we were all conditioned to like stretch and push ourselves and do this and do that. But that's not really in alignment with best business practices. And we see growth and we're like, oh, you hear about companies that are hitting this like trend and sprint. And you're like, oh, if it's to be me. Like I can go make this happen. I can handle everything. And like you said, if you don't have the right structure, like we run EOS and we, in my previous companies, implemented EOS and everything else. But still, even with that, it was so hard. Like my hands were in every single aspect, right?
That's hard. Yeah. If the company can operate without you, you're not really building a business. It's a job. It becomes more like of a job than a business.
And then it becomes really hard to manage people, right? You got to make sure you have the right people in the right seat, doing the right things. And it shifts from you being the one creating the outcomes to helping support people to create the outcomes. But that transition, it sounds like it probably put you in the hospital, all the weight and the stress and everything.
I ended up getting an infection in my leg, and my leg was basically, in short, my leg was trying to kill me. They eventually like slowed down the spread of my leg, but it just started in my knee, and then it got like all the way up to my hip, all the way down to my ankle. And there was a point where they're like, tell my wife, like, your husband's like really sick, like not like he's being a baby, like this dude's really sick, and we're trying to stop the thing that's trying to kill him right now. Right. If we can't. He may lose his leg. If we can save his leg, then we got to figure out if he's going to walk again. Like it was that level of
it
crazy.
Was real.
And I know I'm kind of saying it casually, but in that bed, I was like, man, I hope I die tonight. That would be way more comfortable than this. Right. Like if I could just close my eyes and that would be it, that'd be great. And I'm like, I understand the heartache that would cause my family and my wife and my kids and my friends, and it would also kill my business too. But I was like, I cannot stand this pain. It is grueling, and I would much rather just say, you know what, I'm done, close my eyes and let that be it. And so that depth and that sorrow then, after being healed and recovered, I had to confront that. And I had to like go, oh, shoot, I was willing to let that be an outcome, but there must be more in the tank if I'm still here, so I got to do something about it.
Got to do something about it.
Now we're like, this is like real.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're in this season of life where we have my family still has the mortgage company. I do all that nerd stuff. I carry forward all the lessons I've learned from the losses into today. I've had the experience working with people at all sorts of levels of notoriety and let's say celebrityness. And you know what's funny? Sorry, real quick aside.
Very good, yeah.
You know what's super funny is around people who are very influential or like rich enough to pay for whatever they want, or they're famous enough to just have it all. Ultimately, what they really care about, that from my experience, is they want someone to level with them. They want someone to tell them what they should do, why they should do it, because they have enough yes people around them. Right. And they have enough money to buy, get, or have whatever they want. So it's not about that. They're looking for someone who can do the thing they're saying they can do. And that's not even the Canelo comment. That came from someone else I met earlier in my life. So I had the I don't know if it was like an opportunity. I don't know what you'd call it, like an opportunity or a benefit or whatever. I got to meet Wayne Hughes many years ago. Wayne Hughes' family, his father started the public storage company in the 70s. At the point in time I met Wayne Hughes, it was up at his ranch called Skyrose. He's passed away now, but I met Wayne Hughes back in 2013 up at Skyrose Ranch, and I was touring a veteran program there called the Mighty Oaks Foundation, and I was asked to participate as a civilian participant in this Veterans Restoration Program. And I got to sit next to Wayne at lunch one day, and at this point, their company valuation was $13 billion. Cool. And I asked him, I was like, Wayne, When money is not an object, how do you make choices as a business person? And he says, well, when you can stroke a check for any amount of money and you really may not even feel it, it comes down to who is going to do the thing they're telling you they can do. And they'll actually finish it. And I was like, I'll never forget that. Because then now, if I carry that into today, and I go, hey, Garen, I can show up with my stuff last minute because your other guy bailed, and I can do the thing I'm telling you I can do, you don't question me at all. Now, when I say, hey, Garen, we need to change this, we should modify that, what do you think we entertain about that? And it's not because I sold you on something, it's because I delivered on that thing that I said I was going to do.
So good.
Right?
Yeah.
And the only reason I mention that.
And that's so powerful. That's so powerful.
The only reason I mentioned that is because I was given that opportunity to be invited by someone to go there, and I was able to sit with them and ask that question.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to sit with a multi-billionaire ever in my life.
What question?
Right. What am I going to ask?
What's the right question to ask?
And I was like, and I thought about it on the way up. I'm like, I'm going to just ask him, like, well, when money's not an object, like, how do you make decisions?
Such a great question.
Really
Right?
powerful question.
I was just genuinely curious. I wasn't trying to be smart about it. I was just like, I just want to know, how do you make choices? Like, so anyways, I say that though, because now you look, I look at this financial collapse of 2008 and 2009. I look at being hospitalized and losing my 90-10 brand and all that. And all these lessons that come from that, I carry forward.
Okay.
And now, like, Caitlin's running the cameras right now, right?
Yeah.
Caitlin has edited this show.
Yeah.
Caitlin comes with me and sets up. Caitlin runs our podcast studio at the office when I'm not there or when I'm double booked doing something else for the business.
Right.
This company has to need less and less and less and less of me so that my girls can inherit a company that will eventually need less and less and less of them, but it can stand on its own, provide a value-add service, and deliver on what we say we're going to do. It's as simple as that.
So fulfill the brand promise and have you work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
And allow that to have that structure and scale and be able to grow and provide for you and your family and maybe,
Well, I've made the
generations
mistakes.
after that.
Like, I've made the mistakes. If I continue to make mistakes, that's 100% on me. If I continue doing things that I know had previously led to mistakes, I'm just repeating that same thing, hoping for a different
same
outcome,
cycle.
which we call insanity, right?
Definition
Doing
of
the same
insanity.
thing over and over
That's
again,
it.
expect different result.
Albert
Everyone
Einstein.
on the internet knows this quote.
Yeah, it's a great one.
But there's so much truth to that. And again, I'll say as an older guy, now the things that we are told are true in our 20s, we go, yeah, I don't know. I'm different. The market's different. My product's different. My service is different. All these things, they end up being true.
Yeah, they do.
Don't cut corners.
Yeah.
No, but you can cut corners. Yeah. Guess what? Long term, don't cut corners.
Yeah.
Quality sacrifices. Standards get depleted. And I learned a long time ago. Well, I shouldn't say a long time ago. Gosh, I wish I could remember the book. I'm gonna say it, and maybe later, by the time this is out, we can put it in the description if I remember it. Is standards are not what you say they are. Standards are what you tolerate.
Standards are not what
I can tell you, our standards this, and that. But if I allow something that's less than that to be part of our process, part of our engagement, part of our behavior, then it's not our standard. Our standard is what we tolerate. So going back to an off-camera conversation.
That's a business book that came from?
Yeah, I'm gonna find
That
it.
is so good,
Was it
yeah.
Good
we
to
can
Great?
reference it.
Yeah, I would love to
It
know
might
what
have
it is.
been. It could have been with Jim Collins.
Yeah.
It might have been Good to Great or Leaders Eat Last. It was one of
One
those.
of them, yeah. It's a great
It probably
saying,
was. Let's look it up and let's put the description for everyone who's watching or listening. But the reason I brought it up is because being honest with what you're tolerating is where you can begin growing.
That's so true.
And where you can stop the things that are hurting you, your process, that bleed into your customer experience, that bleed into your standards of execution and delivery or whatever. Like, I'm going to say something that you don't know I'm going to say. Like, your Date Zero book is very well made.
Thank you.
The standard of that is higher than all the other journals I've been using for years. I just told you I've been journaling for 9 years.
Yeah.
It's higher than all of the other ones.
Yeah.
So your standards weren't necessarily just what you set out to do. It's what you tolerate. You're like, this is a product we will deliver to the market. This is the standard. Anything that does not meet that standard is not of us and cannot be a part of what we're doing.
That's so good. With
such a
that,
masterclass.
Yeah, with that.
That's a master class right there.
Yeah. You said before that you always put other people's needs first. That's one of the biggest lessons in business. How do you balance that with keeping your standards, staying true to your standards, while also putting your clients' needs first?
So I think it requires a level of honesty at all levels. Part one. Part two, it's symbiotic.
Yeah.
And I'll say where it originates from is actually my experience being a director in B&I, like teaching how to do professional business networking with people.
Yeah.
Now, I know viewers and listeners have had a variety of experience in that organization. For me, I've gotten to spend personal time with the founder at his house and at conferences and here in San Diego at dinner and just like being friends. I've also been able to be a director for a number of years, teaching people how to do things effectively. And the philosophy behind all that is givers gain. Yeah. If I'm willing to give first, there will be gain as on the receiving side of that. I also told you earlier, I was in the mortgage industry. I was working for free because you get paid after the fact. Yeah. So I have to be willing to do all of the things and then receive compensation for it after having done said things. Similar to podcasting. Yeah. Hey, we're going to do a bunch of stuff. Great. I'm going to deliver your show, so you pay me when it's done. Yeah. That's how our arrangement works. For all you wondering, that's how it works, right? Yeah. So we show up, we roll in because I trust you that you're going to pay that bill, right? And you trust me because you told me this. You're like, hey, this is our agreement. This is our arrangement. Yeah. I expect the same standard from you,
right?
Even though you're doing me a solid. Remember that?
Yeah, I did.
And what I tell you,
so I said, you don't even have to tell me that.
You don't even have to tell me.
I have my standard, and that's what it's going to be regardless.
Right. Now, did that make you feel confident in me or shaky?
No, it made me feel really good. I was like, okay, I don't got to worry about this motherfucker. He's dialed in. He knows what he's doing. Like, that answer just shut me up. Like, there's nothing.
And it wasn't because I was trying to shut you up.
No. It shut me up in a way of, like, any insecurity around whether you were the right person or, like, would meet the step up to the calling, right?
But where did I find you? Go back to where I found you.
To the mastermind.
No. What stage in life did I find you? Being left by the other person, high and dry, can't do and won't perform.
right at the last second.
Okay, so knowing that, what's the best thing I could say to you?
Step in and alleviate that stress from me.
Right. That giver's gain. I'm going to give to you first. I'll gain because I'm going to do
that is what you said too. You said I'll do these first podcasts at no charge.
True.
Yeah.
Let's see if you like it. If you like it, then we can talk about what we do from there. And that is when you talk about, creating opportunity for yourself, and you talk about the billionaire that you met, which was Wayne
Hughes.
Wayne Hughes. Mm-hmm. And what he said exactly is he wants to invest, or he wants to put his energy and time in with people that he knows will execute at the end of the day what they say they're going to do. Yeah. And the power of that is, I think, something that deserves spending a little bit more time around, because so much gets taken for granted just about following through on your word. Because that was, I found a lot of success very young in real estate. Because in the differentiation that I had was when I said I was going to do something, I followed through on it. And I made that happen. And it was that, and then my work ethic, right, that all aligned with that. And that solves very successful people's problems. Because I know the biggest issue that people have all the time is people showing up, people following through, people being a man of their word or a woman of their word, right? And then having the ability to create results. And if you create that track record for yourself with the right people, right, and you solve those problems that they have, that's a great place to spend your time.
And if for some reason they can't do those things, it's evidence of something. Either they've overcommitted, they said a yes that maybe should have been a no, or there's something going on in their life, or.
Right.
But go back to I don't know how many minutes ago where I was saying I can be selective now with the things I say yes to and choose to do because I want to receive money for them, yes, because I'm building a business for my daughters, not because I'm trying to buy a plane. Right. That's not wrong. I just don't care about that. Yeah. I want to go ride a horse whenever I want. Can I just have
want
a
to
horse?
hear more about that.
Right?
And there probably was a time in your life that you wanted the plane or the yacht or this or that.
Those things are not inherently bad. There's no problem with that. I know people that have those things, and it's wonderful to be invited to go do those things. Andy doesn't care about those things. I want to go home and hold my wife's hand on the couch.
Love that.
Does that make sense? Like, go back to what I said earlier. Like, I don't care because the things I don't care about, I really don't care about.
My question to you though is that an evolutionary mindset? Because I know for me, growing up with lack of, right, I didn't grow up with a lot. I had this mindset where, like, attaining those things to me was part of the value that I needed to have as a man to prove something. And as I have evolved in life, like you start to realize those relationships, those connections. What really matters in life is not things at all, because I've had almost everything that you could want, and none of that to me has created happiness or joy or purpose. It's maybe a byproduct of that, but the things that really matter is me and her having an incredible relationship, the impact that we have on the world, having people understand our mission and being a part of that. Those are the things that now weigh on a scale much heavier. I'm just curious with you.
I hope that when it's all said and done and I'm not here anymore, my friends don't sit around and talk about the crap I owned.
Yeah.
Is that really what I'm doing? Is that the composition of my participation in your life, my involvement in your life, my depth of relationship in your life? Is that you want to sit around and talk about the jet skis or my RV?
Yeah.
Like, God, I hope not. Yeah. And if that is what's happening, then maybe that's a time to step back and evaluate, okay, who's around me? Do I even like these people around me? Do I want these people? And not because you should just be like pushing people off, but like be intentional about what do you really care about. If you really care about the jet, go get the jet. Just don't forfeit things you tell me you care about to get it. Right. Don't tell me, oh, I care about being this kind of husband and this kind of dad, but I'm willing to forfeit those so I can go get a Gulfstream. Well, that's who you are. Your record is who you are, right? Who said that? Was it Phil? Not Phil Simms. I'm gonna say Phil Simms. It was Bill Parcells. There's this old clip after like an NFL, like after I don't know, they had some terrible season when he was coach of the Giants or something, and he's like, "Look, your record is who you are. So if you are telling me this over here on this side of your mouth, and then you forfeit those things to have the other thing you're saying, well, then that's who you are, right? If I'm going to tell you in your time of need when I find you lonely and without a producer." And I say something to you that I don't go do, well, that's who I am. Or I show up and do the thing and prove to you, not because I need to prove it to myself, but so that you can have confidence to do the thing you're supposed to do, then that's the score. That's true. The score is I'll show up on Monday at 8:30, like I said I was, or maybe 8:19. Right?
You're early. Yeah. Today you're early. I'm like, no, don't be early. But then you're putting deposits. You're putting deposits in the bank. So then you have enough deposits if something in the human experience does happen, there's something to draw from. But I think a lot of people get overdrawn.
I think the credit goes to Rick Warren for this, whether you know him or don't know him, like him or don't like him. I think he's the one who still said this. He said, stop buying things with money. So stop buying things with money you don't have to impress people you don't like.
That's a great quote. Yeah.
And it's like, why do we do this? We're trying to impress people that don't care, and typically it's because they got their own problems. They're trying to buy their own crap to impress other people that don't care about them either. I don't want to live like that. Yeah. I will also tell you that because of some of the things I've been able to do in the past, I've had some awesome opportunities. I've gotten to drive fun cars. Guess what? I don't got to pay for them. I get the generosity of my friends who have them. Like, hey, take the car for the weekend, or we're going to send you away to this retreat center for you and your wife. Oh, and we're going to pay for the dinner, and we're going to pay for the massages, and everything there is already paid for. Like, I have a lot of generous people in my life.
Does
that make sense?
No, absolutely, because this is what I say all the time, because our whole thing's around gratitude, right? That's a huge of the core value. And what I say constantly is gratitude is a currency. And there's examples of it all the time that happen in my life. Right. And so what you're speaking to right now is because you lead with an open heart, with purpose, with being a man of your word and following through and creating value for people, you have that come back to you in different ways, maybe that you even don't expect, because that is how you lead. And so when you lead and you put that energy out there, that energy comes back. And so I like to explain to people as gratitude is a currency.
It goes back to that reciprocity part where you're asking, why is this whole, value first, and this basically is the giver's gain part of it first. Why do you do that? Yeah. And it's because, like, if I said that my participation with your show was about me first, and then I start having recommendations for you guys, like, he's just saying that because he cares about himself. Like, it becomes very easy for you to classify and categorize things that might be useful to you as, oh, that's going to make his life easier, or that only helps them. What are we getting out of this? And now we start measuring and keeping score. And every time we keep score, there's a winner and there's a loser.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true for business and romantic relationships as well.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's any relationship.
Any relationship, really.
Right. And now, should we be keeping track? Yes, we should be keeping track. We should be measuring things.
Yeah.
But am I really going to sit around and keep score about what I've done for you and you've done for me? If you are liking the product of the show we're producing for you and you feel like you're growing in confidence and getting momentum and you're going the direction you want to go, great, we're a part of that. If I feel like this is worth my time and we're doing a good work and we're participating in something that really has a move to it, then great, that's a value to me too.
Yeah.
Our financial exchange is what it is. But I'm not keeping score like, oh, they only did 4 this month. Oh, man, I'm worried about what. That doesn't actually help me bring my best. It actually starts interfering with what we need to deliver that our promise was.
Right.
And all this is easy to get stuck in the middle of life, financial struggles, good choices or bad choices, living the best life ever and thinking nothing's ever wrong. And then the wrong thing happens and you get crushed and demolished. Or there's a lot of stuff going wrong and you just need one little win. Like some of these core things I'm telling you about or that we're discussing today are really just frameworks that I've decided we're going to live by and we're going to treat people by and we're going to be in relationship for and because of, and we'll let those be the litmus test on the long run of our success or our failure, not the money in the bank. The money in the bank is a byproduct of all that.
It's a byproduct.
Yeah. If I die tomorrow and you come around and to my funeral and you're like, man, Andy had cool cameras. What a problem. What a problem. Wasted opportunity I've had to like engage with you as people and friends and a professional and let that be something that roots us to actually go somewhere. Well, what do you know?
This is powerful. It's very clear from that conversation that you are a loving husband, an incredible father, a great business leader, and also that you lead with integrity and heart. So with these conversations about like legacies, what would you want your legacy to look like? What does a good life look like to you? I know you mentioned, there's a mention of horses there. Maybe that's included in your legacy, but I would love to hear what would the legacy look like? I
have an easy answer. The easy answer is I'm really, as quickly as possible, I'm trying to get out to East County, buy land, have a ranch, and let that place be for my wife and I, where there's a physical passing of the baton legacy-wise. Our girls can take it over if they want. The company exists that way too. I want my children to be able to have choices, and I want people that need rest, reprieve, and restoration to have a place to go do that. So the ranch exists it's like a coexists, I should say, for, yes, we can live there, and we can enjoy the things we want to enjoy there. But also let it be a place of service for people who are lost, dismayed, destroyed, and need to recover and restore their life, reset, maybe actually hit the physical reset button and start their first day of their new life or the next chapter or the second half of life. Start there. Start in isolation, start in silence, start in stillness, start in peace, start in ease, and then add stuff back. Add stuff back. If you've lost everything and you've been demolished or you've been distant or separated or left behind or whatever it is, we ultimately want there to be a place where people can be found, they can refine themselves, and they can get back onto a course of life that is productive and purposeful. That is, I think, the true legacy, where what we put our hand to and allow there to be activities that people can be involved in that produce a harvest that literally generates fruitfulness in actual fruit and vegetables and like animals and that kind of thing. And then also fruitfulness in their life. There's great symbioticness. That's not even a word, but there's great symbiosis in the idea of gardening and planting a harvest and having a yield in physical form and in metaphorical form in finance, life, relationships, like your fruitfulness and having a legacy that carves that path for people is ultimately what we're chasing down.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful.
Creating a level 5 life.
I'm adding that to my vision board now.
Doing things like this, like us doing well here, podcasting and producing, allows us to also go and tell our own story in this same way. Yeah. Being interviewed like this helps us take another step in that right direction. It's another little building block to our like Lego farm, Lego ranch.
So when you're talking
I can't wait to come to this ranch, by the way. Oh my God, I am coming in.
Amazing. We're definitely going to be visiting you, riding some horses and enjoying some of the food that you're growing. And
I'm excited to see this come to life. Yeah, that's incredible.
We're so excited. I can't wait. It's honestly what we talk about more than anything else. It's like we got to get to the ranch. And we're just in this pursuit, and not out of anything other than we want to see it to fruition and see people healed because of participating in the process. Like, just get in there and do the stuff. So many people are afraid to do the hard work. Yeah. They're afraid to admit their position in life. They're afraid to admit the rung they fall into. Yeah. They're afraid to confront the ugly person in the mirror that they hate, that they try to paint or whatever. I don't mean like makeup. I'm just saying like we try to paint ourselves and we're not. But like sometimes the best thing you can do is like stop everything for a minute, look at the dude in the mirror or the gal in the mirror, like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it?
What are we going to do about it?
Because it's me looking at me.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about this? We have a problem.
Yeah. That's that moment.
Yeah, there's power in taking that accountability and
that's a big one.
Knowing that you can change it, right?
Yeah, but taking the right steps. But the environment has to be conducive to that.
Yeah.
And so even like my work environment, like how my desk is, how our studio is, how we operate with our gear, even the way we come here, it needs to contribute to our effectiveness, not cost us something to our effectiveness. Our effectiveness shouldn't be at the cost of the way we do things. It should be contributed to. Same thing with the ranch. Like, it should all be an ecosystem and a system that works for and with the people to create the fruitfulness of actual fruit and in their life.
That's a beautiful, and so really enjoy you taking us through the journey of your life. It's been quite a ride, a very impactful ride. You've definitely experienced a human experience. I mean, as far as going from, being at the top, the bottom, back up, going through health issues, going through, a life change where you may lose your wife and have to worry about your daughters and family and how you keep going on, being in the hospital bed and not wanting to live anymore because the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and just all of that. And to be here right now in this moment and to see the amount of life, the excitement that you have, the generosity, the vulnerability, and the impact that you're creating is inspiring. And I hope that that's what people see right now. If you're going through the hero's journey, if you're going through this human experience and it feels heavy, you can get to the other side of that, and there's beautifulness that comes from it, and that's a huge part of that. When you talk about when you met with Wayne Hughes, keep wanting to say Wayne Dryer, Wayne Hughes. When you met with Wayne Hughes, and he said, be that person that can create that value and follow through. Obviously, that's who you created yourself to be, and that's very apparent to us. Yeah. So we appreciate it. If this resonates with somebody, and they're curious, maybe they want to do a podcast, maybe they have some sort of, editing, social media, whatever it be, or mortgage, real estate, because you're a nerd in that as well. How do they connect with you? How do they find you? How can they resonate? Like, just get some of this energy that I'm feeling from you right now.
Well, I think the best thing to do is wherever you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, leave a comment below. Leave a comment for Garen, for Yessie, or for myself. And then if you need to DM them, you can find them on Instagram, of course. And you can do the same with me. I'm the Andy Cruz on Instagram. And if you want to DM me, you can find me there. And if you need to talk to somebody, you can reach out and I'll talk. I can also listen. I think I did a lot of talking today, which is abnormal. I'm typically in the listening seat where I'm interviewing people and I'm listening. Yeah. And so I really appreciate you guys letting me share a lot today. And I do and continue to work on my listening, because I think we've unequally valued those things in modern day society. Yeah. I think we value what is said more than what is heard. And I'm trying to course correct that in my own life too, and do a lot more listening. I know today I did a fair share of talking, 100%, but in general, I'm definitely looking more towards how can I be a better listener and a student of what is being said, not just saying the right thing at the right time all the time. That's performance all over it.
So powerful. I just was talking about that, and you are a great listener. Just so you know, you're developing that skill set. I don't know where it was before, but it's very high. You can tell you have intention around that. But a lot of people listen to respond, including myself at times, but listening to understand. So then you can listen to respond, right? And so many times we're just waiting for us to. And then what happens is that person doesn't feel like they're actually heard and they feel like they got to continue to explain themselves. Or if you just take that moment to listen, mirror back what they said so that they know that you understand where they're coming from, that brings down their guard, and now they're open to what you have to say. And that really sets off a ability for you to create the outcome that you desire when you come from that place of understanding, and it alleviates a lot of stress. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you guys for having me today. This has been awesome. I really enjoy working on your show. And now I can say I've enjoyed being on your show.
I love it.
No,
And we're going to go right to work right now.
Guys, we got things to do.
It's been an honor, and
Effect.
thank you for sharing space, being so vulnerable and honest, and it's a pleasure working with you. I'm looking forward to everything we're going to create together.
And you're the first guest.
You're our very first
number
guest.
one, baby.
Guest number
Let's
one
go.
of the Gynergy
Awesome.
Effect.
And you did not let us down at all. You
No,
exceeded
did not
expectations.
disappoint.
Oh, thank you guys.
So thank you, bro.
This has been so much
No.
fun, and thank you for letting us be a part of this journey with you.
Well, if you enjoyed this episode of the Gynergy Effect, then we hope you tune back in again and share this with your friends, family, somebody that this may resonate with. Also, like Andy said, like, comment, share, whatever you desire to do. And we are grateful for the time that you spent with us. You're in our space with us. You're like family to us. And we hope that this message carries forward and impacts millions of people. So today was a great day. Andy, we're grateful for you. And we'll see you guys again soon. Let's go.
If this episode spoke to your soul,
Share it with someone you love and tag us at the Gynergy Effect. We'd love to connect.
and remember, your energy is your power. Use it with intention.